Has this Jamie Brown ever told you what his parents were, or where he comes from? I don't ask about his forebear, for he does not look like a lad who has ever had ancestors. And you, a Fraser of Lovat. Fie for shame, Margaret. Who is this Jamie Brown?
He is James Brown, Doctor of Medicine of the University of Edinburgh, a good, clever young man, whom I love with my whole heart, replied Margaret, reddening.
Hoot! Is that the way for a maiden to speak? Where does he come from? Who are his kinsfolk? Unless he can give a pretty good account of his family and prospects, I shall just bid him begone, Margaret, and that I tell you fairly.
Uncle, her eyes were filling with hot, indignant tears, I am of age. You know he is good and clever. Else why have you had him so often to your house? I marry him, not his kinsfolk. He's an orphan. I doubt if he has any relations that he keeps up with. He has no brothers nor sisters. I don't care where he comes from.
What was his father? Asked Professor Fraser coldly.
I don't know. Why should I go prying into every particular of his family and asking who his father was and what was the maiden name of his mother and when his grandmother was married?
Yet I think I have heard Miss Margaret Fraser speak up pretty strongly in favour of a long line of unspotted ancestry.
I had forgotten our own, I suppose, when I spoke so. Simon Lord Lovat is a creditable great-uncle to the Frasers. If all tales be true, he ought to have been hanged for a felon instead of beheaded like a loyal gentleman.
Oh, you're determined to foul your own nest? I have done. Let James Brown come in. I will make him my bow and thank him for condescending to marry a Fraser.
Uncle, said Margaret, now fairly crying, don't let us part in anger. We love each other in our hearts. You have been good to me, and so has my aunt. But I have given my word to Dr. Brown, and I must keep it. I should love him if he was the son of a ploughman. We don't expect to be rich. But he has a few hundreds to start with, and I have my own 100 a year.
Well, well, child, don't cry. You've settled it all for yourself, it seems, so I wash my hands of it. I shake off all responsibility. You will tell your aunt what arrangements you make with Dr. Brown about your marriage, and I will do what you wish in the matter. But don't send the young man in to me to ask my consent. I neither give it nor withhold it. It would have been different if it had been Sir Alexander.
Oh, Uncle Fraser, don't speak so. See Dr. Brown at any rate, for my sake. Tell him you consent. Let me belong to you that much. It seems so desolate at such a time to have to dispose of myself, as if nobody owned or cared for me. The door was thrown open, and Dr. James Brown was announced. Margaret hastened away, and before he was aware, the Professor had given a sort of consent, without asking a question of the happy young man, who hurried away to seek his betrothed, leaving her uncle muttering to himself. Both Dr. and Mrs. Fraser were so strongly opposed to Margaret's engagement in reality that they could not help showing it by manner and implication, although they had the grace to keep silent. But Margaret felt even more keenly than her lover that he was not welcome in the house. Her pleasure in seeing him was destroyed by her sense of the coldness with which he was received, and she willingly yielded to his desire for a short engagement, which was contrary to their original plan of waiting until he should be settled in practice in London and should see his way clear to such an income as would render their marriage a prudent step. Dr. and Mrs. Fraser neither objected nor approved. Margaret would rather have had the most vehement opposition than this icy coldness, but it made her turn with redoubled affection to her warm-hearted and sympathizing lover. Not that she had ever discussed her uncle and aunt's behaviour with him. As long as he was apparently unaware of it, she would not awaken him to a sense of it. Besides, they had stood to her so long in the relation of parents that she felt she had no right to bring in a stranger to sit in judgment upon them. So it was rather with a heavy heart that she arranged their future ménage with Dr. Brown, unable to profit by her aunt's experience and wisdom. But Margaret herself was a prudent and sensible girl. Although accustomed to a degree of comfort in her uncle's house that almost amounted to luxury, she could resolutely dispense with it when occasion required. When Dr. Brown started for London to seek and prepare their new home, she enjoined him not to make any but the most necessary preparations for her reception. She would herself superintend all that was wanting when she came. He had some old furniture stored up in a warehouse which had been his mother's. He proposed selling it and buying new in its place.